Hi everyone. So I'm going to be whispering a little bit because Weston is down for a nap. And I just have a few minutes to do my 2-week update because I never did a 1-week update postpartum. Mainly because I just didn't have time. My mom's here, as most of you know. And the first week was probably the roughest for me, like it is for anybody. So I just figured that I would do one now since things are starting to settle in a little bit better. I'm feeling emotionally a lot better. And I figured I'd just do my 2-week postpartum update. Okay, so 2 weeks postpartum and everything's going a lot better. I really wouldn't say I had it rough, but I will pretty much just start from what pretty much happened right after I guess not delivery, but just kind of what happened afterwards. I was feeling fantastic after I gave birth. In terms of just my emotion, I was feeling really great. I didn't really have the adrenaline rush of overwhelming love because I had went through such a fast labor and delivery that it was really hard for me to grasp that I had just gave birth to a baby. If any of you guys have had a very fast delivery, I think you maybe can relate to me. It was just more difficult for me to just be looking at her and thinking I just had a baby. It was very weird for me. But I was still on some sort of a high from it. On Monday, I'm going to say, I had her on Saturday, the 1st of August. On Monday, I started to notice that I started to go through the whole baby. I think I actually even talked about it in my labor and delivery video because I think I did it on Monday or Tuesday. I can't remember. But I started to develop the oh my god, I gave birth, and going through the whole process just like I did with Weston. So that kind of started, but it wasn't baby blues. I just kind of had this not depression, but just oh my god, I just went through labor. I just went through something that is kind of traumatic, So once Wednesday hit, that is when my postpartum baby blues started. I think that I actually posted this video, my labor and delivery, on the Tuesday. I think I did. Yeah, I think it was probably the Tuesday, and I might have uploaded on the Wednesday. But I had said in that video that Weston was being very sweet. He was such a good boy. He was doing really well altogether. Wednesday hit. Actually, I think that night that I filmed that video, he actually told us that he didn't want a baby sister anymore, and it was so heartbreaking. I immediately felt totally guilty. I thought that I was a terrible mom, and why did I have a baby? Why did I do this to him? I'm such a terrible person, blah, 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 all the things that you go through when you have one and you just had another baby. Of course, this went away very quickly. I didn't have the, oh my god, I shouldn't have had a baby feeling, but I brought somebody else into his life, and this is so crazy for him. Why did I do this to him? And I think that any of you that have 2 kids, or 3 or 4, whatever, this is probably what you feel like. So Wednesday, we actually had a barbecue at my complex. I went out and I had immediately started to feel baby blues. I started to feel overwhelming, emotion for no reason, all the stuff that you go through. So we were there, we were sitting down, and she started to fuss, and I said, I need to go in the house. And I was still experiencing really, really bad engorgement, which I'll get into after. So that was really making me more emotional because it was so incredibly painful, and I did not have that with Weston at all. So I get back in the house and I'm feeding her, and I just completely break down. I am bawling because I'm thinking my little boy is outside playing with other people, playing with my husband, playing with my mom, but he's not playing with his mommy. And I was just, it was tearing me apart. I felt like I couldn't handle it. So my mom came in and she asked me what was wrong, and I told her, and she was just don't worry, blah, blah, blah. And he was having a blast. He had so much fun. And so like that night happened, and you know what? Like overall, every single night with breastfeeding, being up with the baby, it has been fine. But as of Wednesday, I hadn't had like any sleep. Like I had really been having really shitty sleep, as every mother does, especially when you're breastfeeding and you're trying to like make sure that you know that they're getting enough. And do I need to cluster feed? And like should I put them in bed with me? Should I not? Should I do this? Should I do that? Like why aren't they nursing enough? Like all this stuff. So I was already dealing with that, and then thinking about Weston. So no sleep. It was all coming crashing down on Wednesday night, and I just completely lost it. Thursday, my husband had to go into work because, if you guys know, my husband was going to be going away that weekend, the weekend of the 9th, to LA for a conference for his work to talk about the movie that he had worked on. So I had to be home with Weston, the baby, and my mom, which was great. We did fine, but halfway through the day, I thought, let's go for a walk. We'll bring the dogs, we'll bring Charlotte, we'll bring Weston, my mom, it'll be fine. 20 minutes into the walk, not even 10 minutes into the walk, I was done, Weston was done. I was on the verge of tears, and he was legitimately upset with me. He was hitting the stroller, didn't want to have anything to do with Charlotte, and I thought, this is it. Like, my world is crashing in, and I don't know how to handle this. Got back to the house, and I was hysterical. Like, I was bawling and bawling, and I called Evan and I said, I don't want you going away this weekend. Like, I'm gonna lose my mind if you leave. I can't handle this. I feel like I'm falling apart, and then I'm losing grip to reality right now, and I can't find like anything to grab onto. Like, I just feel like I'm falling, and I can't. And you know what? Your emotions are literally going from this high all the way down. Like, if you haven't had babies yet, it is insane the amount of hormones that drop with your lack of sleep. Anything. It's insane how shitty you feel. And you know what? There's a lot of girls that go through postpartum depression for a very long time. And I am so glad that it only lasted until Friday morning, and I was so incredibly happy about this. Evan came home. He was supposed to be home by like the afternoon, but he ended up not coming home till like 5. We ate dinner, and I nursed her. I left her out there. I put Wes into bed because I wanted to have a little bit of time with him alone. I went to bed after I put him down, and I was just woken up to nurse, and Evan and my mom just helped, like, with staying up with her if she was up. And I'm telling you, I maybe got 4 hours of sleep, like a stretch, and I felt amazing. Like, just that little bit of sleeps that I got, like 2 hours here, 3 hours here. I think one time I almost got 3.5, 4. It made a huge difference. I slept in the morning. I was able to fully get ready because Friday was our day that we were doing our newborn photos, and I just felt like, oh my God, I can actually take on the world today when I woke up on Friday. I didn't have baby blues anymore. I didn't find myself crying for no reason. It literally had just completely went out the door. So I know a lot of it had to do with sleep. Of course, I'm still kind of feeling a little bit depressed in times, but it's nothing compared to what it was last Wednesday. So I have to say I feel a lot better with that. Physically, wow. I feel freaking fantastic, okay? Like, I did not feel like I had a baby. Directly after, hell yeah. Like, not getting an epidural and immediate after labor was very painful for me. I didn't rip. I had like they said I had like a skinned knee. That's how she compared it to. She's like, there's no blood. Like, it's just like when you dab it, there might be blood, but there's barely any blood. So I didn't need stitches. But my butt, my tailbone, my crotch just was very sore. And when you have an epidural, it slowly comes instead of immediate. So I had pain while I was in the hospital, and sort of when I was home, maybe for the first day or two. But I'm fine. Like, I could not tell you that I had a baby 2 weeks ago unless I like look down and see that I still have a little bit of a pooch, and the fact that I still have to sometimes wear like, you know, a pad and stuff, which that has pretty much been, it's gone now. I'm not really bleeding really at all, and my bleeding was very, very, very good. Even compared to Weston's. Weston was good, but I had episiotomy, so I was probably bleeding a little bit more. I just, as much and as difficult as that quick labor and delivery was that I had with her, not having an epidural or anything, I would do it in a heartbeat again, even though I have already said I'm done having children. It's intense to think that my labor or that my recovery is this good, especially with not tearing, not needing to get any stitches. And I think probably Weston had to help a little bit with me not needing any of those things, because he was a very large baby. So maybe my body was just like, okay, I can squeeze this 7-pound baby out. So besides that, I'm doing really, really good. We have went on a ton of outings. We went to a science center, we went to the mall, we went out for dinner, we've done lots of things, and I just feel great. I really have to take time to like lay down when I need to lay down, but as of like today, I'm feeling more back to normal, physically, as in my energy level. And it has a lot to do with Charlotte just being, knock on wood, a very good baby at nighttime. We're having some issues right now where she does this thing, and I think it has to do with my letdown, but it doesn't happen during the night, which is very weird. She does this thing where she'll be nursing and then she'll freak out after about like 2 minutes, 3 minutes. We're trying to figure out if it's mainly because she's tired and she actually doesn't want to nurse, but she wants to be comforted, or if she's wanting to nurse and then my letdown is so strong that she's freaking out. When my boob does come out of her mouth, I don't have milk spraying everywhere. It's not overly coming out, but I don't know exactly what an overactive letdown is. I would assume that's what it is, but that's not really what happens. At nighttime, she is going 3 hours. Last night, she slept 4.5 hours without needing to nurse, but prior to putting her to bed, like when I actually went to sleep around 9, she cluster fed and did that thing that she does for about 2 hours. So I think that she was just very full when she went to sleep. But in terms of her, she is a wonderful baby. Weston is just a dream with her. He loves her to death. He was just having a lot of hard time with us. Not necessarily that he was jealous of us playing with her, doing things with her. He was just lashing out, like, in general. My mom has been here, and of course that's a big difference for him. He never sees my mom because my mom lives on the other side of the country, so he never sees her physically this much. So I think that was really hard for him. He has a new sister. These new things are happening in the household. Can't have much mommy time, and my mom's here, and my mom isn't necessarily taking my time, but she's just taking time in the world of Weston, you know. He doesn't want to play with her, he didn't want to interact with her. My mom wanted to take care of him for us, and yet he wasn't willing to have her do that. So he had lashed out a bunch, and there was a couple days he wasn't eating very much, and finally he has turned around. He's eating a lot better. We noticed that he needs to take naps because this child is waking up at 5:30 every morning wanting to see baby sister. And as cute as it is, baby sister can sleep for another till about 7:30, and then she has her like awake time. But mommy and daddy want to like have a little more bedtime, and he wants to just quickly go in the front room, play with his Legos, do what he wants, and I'm like, I'm exhausted, just let me lay in bed for a little bit more. So, but that's what's been going on. Like I said, it's been, you know, it was rough, but nothing to what I couldn't handle. I'm very, 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 very extremely, extremely lucky that I have a wonderful husband, and that fact that just the way that it works for us, he gets to take the paternity leave and he will be off for the entire month of August. So I am so looking forward to that. So yeah, so I'm going to insert pictures of Charlotte after this so that you guys can see, because she is sleeping right now. I would say for her, in terms of like what I think her weight is, we are going in on Monday for the 2-week update, and she's already feeling pretty hefty to me. I would say that she's probably closer to 8 pounds now. She still fits obviously in all newborn diapers, everything. It's actually kind of awesome because Weston was not fitting in newborns by 2 weeks. All the clothing I couldn't wear he couldn't have anymore, so I had to phase it out, but she is still going strong with the newborn outfits, so that's really great. She fits into some 0 to 3 month, but not many. She's still pretty tiny. She has a lot of her feet and her hands and some parts on her belly where the skin is peeling. I don't know if anybody ever dealt with that. Didn't have to deal with that with Weston. Not that it's an issue, but it was funny to me that her hands were peeling and her feet, so they're almost done shedding. She did lose her umbilical cord on the Friday before she turned a week, so it was like 1 day shy of a week. She lost it in the morning. She did have a remnant that was on there, and I was actually putting coconut oil on her because her skin was super dry, and I actually put coconut oil on it, and it didn't over irritate it. It didn't get it all nasty, and that little remnant ended up falling off yesterday, and she doesn't have her umbilical cord anymore. I do have it. I don't know why. I don't have a reason for keeping it. I'm not one of those people, but I keep like thinking that I don't want to get rid of it because that's like the last thing that ties me and her together. I know a lot of people do keep those things, but she's doing really well. I would say that she's a great baby. Like I said, she's definitely has figured out what her days and her nights are. For a while there, she wasn't necessarily staying up at night, but she was sleeping a lot during the day, and I was afraid that she was not going to be up or going to be up all night. And now she's usually up for about 2 hours in the morning, about an hour and a half in the afternoon, and then at night she's up for another hour. So she's getting up and up. And today was the first day that I heard her coo. Like, she was just laying on my lap, looking around, and then she went like, ah, and I died. I was like, I love newborns, but I love around the 2.5, 3 month stage when they start to coo at you, and they're just, oh, they're so adorable. So anyways, that's it. I'll insert some pictures here. I will show you guys my postpartum belly so you can see. I am only 10 pounds away from my pre-pregnancy weight, so I'm very happy about that, and I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that I was postpartum sweats like you would not believe at nighttime. Holy crap. I had 4 nights where I actually was sweating so much that I had to get up in the middle of the night and take my tank top off and put a new one on. That's how sweaty I was, and put like a towel down in my bed. Like, I was drenching my sheets. I've had to wash them like 3 times already. I mean, I don't mind, but it's insane. So I'll give you a belly shot, and I will probably do these every 2 weeks. I'll do another 4-week one, and then from that point I'll just do Charlotte's 1 month update. But so far so good. Everything's going great. So I will see you guys in a couple weeks. Bye.